Hi, my name is Anita Wallace, and I'm chair of the Lymphedema Support Network, and I'm delighted to introduce you to someone that I've worked with for, scarily, nearly 20 years. Professor Peter Mortimer. He's the LSN's Chief Medical Advisor and leading lymphedema specialist both here in the UK and overseas. This is a tricky one. So why is there such little funding put into research? Whilst I appreciate it's not life-threatening, it certainly psychologically affects lives. I'm 43 and I've had this condition now since I was 13. The treatment is still no further advanced or the advice. There's always compression garment, skincare and exercise. 30 years and still no further.
Well, this is a good question, and I think the fundamental answer is lymphedema is not really on the radar of research scientists or doctors. Certainly as far as doctors are concerned, they are not taught about the lymphatic system or lymphedema sufficiently in medical school, so it's not considered important enough. The questioner mentions it's not life-threatening, but certainly because lymphedema can predispose to severe infection and sepsis, I would not say it cannot be life-threatening, because the infection certainly can be, admittedly rarely.
Yes.
But
I'm glad you said that, Peter. It would frighten us all to death.
Yes.
Yes.
It's rare, but nevertheless, it's theoretically a risk. And I think lymphedema needs to be better understood. I, for one, think just because a condition's not life-threatening, it doesn't make it any less important than a life-threatening condition. For example, I think I, for one, might choose to die rather than really suffer considerably from one disease or another. And there's no doubt that lymphedema can cause enormous amount of suffering. So it's important, make no mistake about it, it's important. But the answer to the question is that if there are insufficient researchers interest in the condition, then you haven't got the critical mass of money and scientists working on it. I mentioned AIDS earlier. That was a good example where huge amounts of money.
Yes. Yeah.
And if there's money, it then attracts scientists. And then if you have a good critical mass working on it, you're going to make progress. So we need more money available for lymphedema research. And then scientists will come into the area and they'll work on it.
I think I've been involved with the LSN now for over 20 years, but I do feel there is a lot more interest in lymphedema than when I first came on board. Yeah, would you agree?
Absolutely. But it's interesting, this year we're trying to, at St. George's, develop a very specific lymphatic system module as part of the medical school curriculum. In the same way that they will learn about cancer and they'll learn about cardiovascular disease, we want them to learn about lymphatic disease, because lymphatic disease is not just lymphedema. Lymphatic system problems can affect virtually all diseases. From lymphatic dysfunction can cause obesity. Lymphatic dysfunction can cause all sorts of infections, not just cellulitis. It's not good for cardiovascular disease. And so I think we need to understand more about how the lymph system works and how it influences other disease. And then doctors and scientists will take note.
But in the autumn issue of our newsletter, I mean, we're publishing 2 articles about research that sort of highlight the sort of work that you've been undertaking at St. George's. And, you know, it's a very positive, I think it gives people hope that there is something going on, you know, behind the scenes. We might not all know what's going on all over the place, but yeah, there is work being done.
There is work being done. And the the interest from the scientists has increased considerably in the last 20 years. There's no doubt about that. But I still maintain that to keep scientists competitive and working in one area, you need to have research funding available. And I would say that is possibly the greatest limiting step at the moment.
Yes. Thank you very much, Peter.